Denis Colin Leary is an American actor, comedian, writer, director and film producer. He is known for his biting and fast-paced comedic style. He was the star and co-creator of the television show Rescue Me, which ended its seventh and final season on September 7, 2011. He has starred in many motion pictures, most recently as Captain George Stacy in Marc Webb's 2012 film The Amazing Spider-Man and the voice of Diego in the animated Ice Age series. Early life: Leary was born in Worcester, Massachusetts, the son of Irish Catholic immigrants. His mother, Nora, was a maid, and his father, John Leary, was an auto mechanic. As both of his parents are from Killarney, County Kerry, Ireland, Leary holds both Irish and U.S. citizenship. Through marriage, Leary is a third cousin of talk show host Conan O'Brien. He attended St. Peter Marian High School, in Worcester. Leary is a graduate of Emerson College, in Boston. While at Emerson, he met fellow comic Mario Cantone, whom to this day Leary considers his closest friend. Comedian Stephen Wright and actress Gina Gershon also attended Emerson at the same time as Leary. At the school, he founded the Emerson Comedy Workshop, a troupe that continues on campus as of 2011. After graduating with the Emerson class of 1979, he took a job at the school teaching comedy writing classes and maintained the job for 5 years. Leary received an honorary doctorate and spoke briefly at his alma mater's undergraduate commencement ceremony on May 16, 2005. He is thus credited as Dr. Denis Leary on the cover of his 2009 book, Why We Suck. Career: Leary began working as a comedian in the Boston comedy scene of the 1980s at the underground club Play It Again Sam's. But his first real gig was at the Rascals Comedy Club as part of the TV show The Rascals Comedy Hour on October 18, 1990. He also wrote and appeared on a local comedy series, The Late, Late Show, hosted by his friend Lenny Clark and written by Boston comedy writer Martin Olson. Leary and Clark both spoke about their early affiliations and influences in the Boston comedy scene in the documentary film When Stand-Up Stood Out. It was during this time that he developed his stage persona. He also appeared in skits on the MTV game show Remote Control, playing such characters as Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones, the brother of co-host Colin Quinn, and artist Andy Warhol. Leary first earned fame when he ranted about REM in an early 1990s MTV sketch. Several other commercials for MTV quickly followed, in which Leary would rant at high speeds about a variety of topics, playing off the then popular and growing alternative scene. One of these rants serves as an introduction to the video of Shamrocks and Shenanigans by House of Pain. He released 2 records of his stand-up comedy, No Cure for Cancer and Lock and Load. In late 2004, he released the EP Merry F% Dollar in Christmas, which included a mix of new music, previously unreleased recordings, and some tracks from Lock and Load. In 1993, his sardonic song about the stereotypical American male, Asshole, achieved much notoriety. However, this bit was allegedly stolen from Louie Creek, discussed by Louie on an interview on the Opie and Anthony Show. It was voted number 1 in an Australian youth radio poll. The song was used as part of the Wholesome Pills series of ads in the UK, in which Leary was participating, with adapted lyrics criticising a drunk driver. The single was a minor hit there, peaking at number 58 in the UK singles chart in January 1996. Leary has appeared as an actor in over 40 movies, including The Sandlot, as Scott's stepfather Bill, Monument Avenue, The Matchmaker, The Ref, Suicide Kings, DAWG, Wag the Dog, Demolition Man, Judgment Night, The Thomas Crown Affair, and Operation Dumbo Drop. He had a small part in Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers, playing a ranting inmate during a prison riot. His part was eventually cut, but can be seen on the special edition DVD. He has had the lead role in 2 television series, The Job and the FX cable network series Rescue Me, of which he was also a co-creator. He played Tommy Gavin, a New York City firefighter dealing with alcoholism, family dysfunction and other issues in post-9/11's New York City. He received Emmy Award nominations in 2006 and 2007 for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series for Rescue Me, and in 2008 for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Miniseries or a Movie for the HBO movie Recount. Leary was offered the role of Dynam in the 2006 film The Departed but turned it down due to scheduling conflicts with Rescue Me. In addition, Leary has provided voices for characters in animated films, such as a fire-breathing dragon named Flame in the series The Agents, a pugnacious ladybug named Francis in A Bug's Life and a prehistoric saber-toothed tiger named Diego in the Ice Age film series. He has produced numerous movies, television shows, and specials through his production company, Apostle. These include Comedy Central's Shorties Watchin' Shorties, the stand-up special Denis Leary's Merry F. Dollar in Christmas, and the movie Blow. As a Boston Red Sox fan, he narrated the official 2004 World Series film. In 2006, Leary and Lenny Clarke appeared on television during a Red Sox telecast and, upon realizing that Red Sox first baseman Kevin Youkilis is Jewish, delivered a criticism of Mel Gibson's anti-Semitic comments. As an ice hockey fan, Leary hosted the National Hockey League video NHL's Greatest Goals. In 2003, he was the subject of the Comedy Central roast of Denis Leary. Leary did the TV voiceover for MLB 2K8 advertisements, where he used his trademark rant style in baseball terms, and ads for the 2009 Ford F-150 pickup truck. He has also appeared in commercials for Hulu and Direct's NFL Sunday Ticket package. Leary was a producer of the Fox broadcasting series Canterbury's Law, and wrote and directed its pilot episode. Canterbury's Law aired in the spring of 2008 and was cancelled after 8 episodes. On September 9, 2008, Leary hosted the 6th annual Fashion Rocks event, which aired on CBS. In December of the year, he appeared in a video on Funnidy.com critiquing a list of some of his best films, titled Denis Leary Remembers Denis Leary Movies. Also in 2008, Leary voiced a guest role as himself on the Lost Verizon episode of The Simpsons. On March 21, 2009, Leary began the Rescue Me comedy tour in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The 11-date tour, featuring Rescue Me co-stars Lenny Clarke and Adam Ferrara, was Leary's first stand-up comedy tour in 12 years. The Comedy Central special Doucher Bags and Donuts, filmed during the tour, debuted on American television January 16, 2011, with a DVD release on January 18, 2011. On January 1, 2010, both Leary and Lenny Clarke sang the Neil Diamond song Sweet Caroline at the 2010 NHL Winter Classic at Fenway Park, flanked by members of the Boston and Worcester Fire Departments. 9 days later, Leary sang at Road Recovery, on New York City's The Bowery, along with Peter Frampton, John Varvatos and Leary's band The Enablers. He played Captain George Stacy in the movie The Amazing Spider-Man, released in July 2012. He is writing the American adaptation of the British comedy Sirens. Leary is one of the executive producers of the documentary Burn, which chronicles the struggles of the Detroit Fire Department. Burn made its debut on April 23, 2012, at the Tribeca Film Festival. Personal life. Leary has been married to writer Anne Limbeck Leary since 1989. They met when he was her instructor in an English class at Emerson College. They have 2 children, son John Joseph Jack, and daughter Devon. Anne Leary published a memoir, An Innocent, Abroad, about the premature birth of their son on an overseas visit to London. She has also written a novel, Outtakes from a Marriage, which was published in 2008. Her second novel, The Good House, was published in 2013. Leary is an ice hockey fan and has his own backyard hockey rink at his home in Roxbury, Connecticut, with piping installed under the ice surface to help the ice stay frozen. His favorite National Hockey League team is the Boston Bruins. He is also a Boston Red Sox fan, as well as a fan of the Green Bay Packers. Leary describes himself as a Jack Kennedy Democrat with some conservative ideologies, such as support for the military. Leary told Glenn Beck, "I was a lifelong Democrat, but now at my age, I've come to realize that the Democrats suck, and the Republicans suck, and basically the entire system sucks." but you have to go within the system to find what you want. Leary has said of his religious beliefs, "I'm a lapsed Catholic in the best sense of the word. You know, I was raised with Irish parents, Irish immigrant parents. My parents, you know, prayed all the time, took us to Mass. And my father would sometimes swear in Gaelic. It doesn't get more religious than that. But, no, after a while, they taught us wrong. I didn't raise my kids with the fear of God. I raised my kids with the sense of, you know, to me, Jesus was this great guy." Leary Firefighters Foundation. On December 3, 1999, 6 firefighters from Leary's hometown of Worcester were killed in the Worcester cold storage warehouse fire. Among the dead were Leary's cousin Jerry Lucy and his close childhood friend Lieutenant Tommy Spencer. In response, the comedian founded the Leary Firefighters Foundation. Since its creation in the year 2000, the foundation has distributed over $2.5 million to fire departments in the Worcester, Boston, and New York City areas for equipment, training materials, new vehicles, and new facilities. Leary won $125,000 for the foundation on the game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Leary has close ties with 107.3/WAAF, which in 2000 released the station album Survive This. Part of the proceeds from this album were donated to the Leary Firefighters Foundation. A separate fund run by Leary's foundation, the Fund for New York's Bravest, has distributed over $2 million to the families of the 343 firemen killed in the September 11 attacks in 2001, in addition to providing funding for necessities such as a new mobile command center, first responder training, and a high-rise simulator for the New York City Fire Department's training campus. As the foundation's president, Leary has been active in all of the fundraising, usually presenting large checks and donated equipment personally. The close relationship he has developed with the FDNY as well as with individual firefighters across the New York-New England area has resulted in Leary's most recent television show, Rescue Me, a comedy drama on FX. In the pilot episode of the show, he is seen wearing a Leary Firefighter Foundation 9/11 memorial T-shirt. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, Leary donated over a dozen boats to the New Orleans Fire Department to aid in rescue efforts and future disasters. The foundation also rebuilt entire NOLA firehouses. Controversy, allegations of plagiarism. For many years, Leary had been friends with fellow comedian Bill Hicks. When Leary's comedy album No Cure for Cancer was released, many people believed Leary had stolen Hicks' act and material. The friendship ended abruptly as a result. In April 1993, the Austin Comedy News remarked on the similarities of Leary's performance, "Watching Leary is like seeing Hicks from 2 years ago. He smokes with the same mannerisms. He sports the same attitude, the same clothes. He touches on almost all of the same themes. Leary even invokes Jim Figs." When asked about this, Hicks told the magazine, "I have a scoop for you. I stole his, Leary's, act. I camouflaged it with punchlines, and to really throw people off, I did it before he did." At least 3 stand-up comedians have gone on the record stating they believe Leary stole Hicks' material, comedic persona and attitude. One similar routine was about the band Judas Priest, during which Hicks says, "I don't think we lost a cancer cure." During Leary's 2003 Comedy Central roast, comedian Lenny Clark, a friend of Leary's, said there was a carton of cigarettes backstage from Bill Hicks with the message, "Wish I had gotten these to you sooner." This joke was cut from the final broadcast. The feud is also mentioned in Cynthia True's biography American Scream, The Bill Hicks Story. Leary was in Montreal to host The Nasty Show, at Club Soda, and Colleen was coordinating the talent, so she was standing backstage when she heard Leary doing material that sounded incredibly similar to old Hicks riffs, including his perennial Jim Figs joke. When Leary came off stage, Colleen, more stunned than angry, said, "Hey, you know that's Bill Hicks' material. Do you know that's his material?" Leary stood there, stared at her without saying a word and briskly left the dressing room. According to the book, True said upon hearing a tape of Leary's album No Cure for Cancer, Bill was furious. All these years, aside from the occasional jibe, he had pretty much shrugged off Leary's lifting. Comedians borrowed, stole stuff and even bought bits from one another. Milton Berle and Robin Williams were famous for it. This was different. Leary had, practically line for line, taken huge chunks of Bill's act and recorded it. In a 2008 appearance on the Opie and Anthony show, comedian Louis Creek claimed that Leary stole his "I'm an asshole" routine, which was then expanded upon and turned into a hit song by Leary. On a later episode of the same show, Leary challenged this assertion by claiming that he co-wrote the song with Chris Phillips. Autism. In his 2008 book Why We Suck, A Feel-Good Guide to Staying Fat, Loud, Lazy and Stupid, Leary said, "There is a huge boom in autism right now because inattentive mothers and competitive dads want an explanation for why their dumbass kids can't compete academically, so they throw money into the happy laps of shrinks to get back diagnoses that help explain away the deficiencies of their junior morons. I don't care what these crackerjack whack jobs tell you. Your kid is not autistic. He's just stupid. Or lazy. Or both." In response to the controversy, Leary stated that the quote was taken out of context and that in that paragraph he had been talking about the trend of unwarranted overdiagnosis of autism, which he attributed to American parents seeking an excuse for behavioral problems and underperformance. Later, he apologized to parents with autistic children whom he had offended. Awards, filmography, films, television, discography, 1993, No Cure for Cancer, 1993, Asshole, 1997, Lock and Load, 2004, Mary F. $% in Christmas, 2009, At the Rehab, 2011, Douchebag, 2012, Kiss My Ass, Bibliography, 1992, No Cure for Cancer, Anchor Books ISBN 0385425813, 2007, Rescue Me, Uncensored The Official Companion, New Market Press ISBN 978-1557047,915, 2008, Why We Suck, A Feel-Good Guide to Staying Fat, Loud, Lazy and Stupid, Viking ISBN 978-0-670-03160-3, 2010, Suck On This Year, LYFAO at 140 characters or less, Viking ISBN 978-0-670-02289-2, 2012, Denis Leary's Mary F. $% in Christmas, Running Press ISBN 0762447621, references. External links, official website, Denis Leary at the Internet Movie Database, Denis Leary at DMOZ, works by or about Denis Leary in libraries.